Dash with smoke, slow, roll it up, let's go. Dash with smoke, slow, roll it up. Count that dash with smoke, slow, roll it up, let's go. Dash with smoke.
Hello everyone, this is Sacrifice, and today we will be going over the second boss in Algeth'ar Academy, Crawth, and how I heal it as a disciplined priest. The main mechanic of this fight is play ball, and there are two different goalposts. On the red side, you have Goal of the Syrian Blaze. After scoring 3 goals here, you will trigger Firestorm. The goal will erupt in flames, launching several motes of fire at the arena. If you get hit by the fire, you will take high damage and be stunned for 3 seconds. The Firestorm will hit Crawth. This will stun her and make her take 75% increased damage for 12 seconds. This is typically where Hero or Lust is used along with DPS cooldowns, so this is the side you want to activate first. On the blue side, you have Goal of the Rushing Winds. After scoring 3 goals here, you will trigger Gale Force. These winds rush out of the goal, pushing players back and summoning roving cyclones, which do high damage and knock you back if you come in contact with it. Gale Force will also spawn blue motes in the arena, which if picked up grant 45% haste, increase 50% movement speed, and makes you immune to being pushed back for 20 seconds. The boss's first ability is Savage Peck, a tank buster that deals high physical damage and leaves a dot behind that happens every 15 seconds. Keep an eye out in case your tank needs help with an extra defensive cooldown. The second ability is Deafening Screech, a sonic eruption that hits all players, interrupts spell casts, and school locks you for 6 seconds. Each cast of the Screech will apply a stack of sonic vulnerability, which permanently increases its damage. You can remove this by scoring goals during play ball. Make sure you go with your team how many stacks you are able to handle. Typically you want to wait for 3 stacks or 4 stacks during tyrannical weeks. The last ability is Overpowering Gust. Crawth faces a random player, flaps her wings, inflicting high damage and knocking back all players in front of her if hit. So this fight is perfect for this priest. Most of the damage going out is party-wide, which can easily be healed by Radiance, our DPS rotation during our Shadow Covenant window, and mitigating the 3rd or 4th Screech with our Rapture or Barrier, and keeping an eye out on the tank during Savage Peck. I'm not worried whatsoever for the first Screech, so as soon as the boss starts, I'm looking to just give someone Power Infusion and pump DPS. So to heal the first Screech, all you need to do is just cast the Radiance and keep your DPS rotation going. You have to keep an eye out on everyone's position. Sometimes people are too far from you and your Radiance will hit them, so you have to spend a global applying atonement to them. Quaking was going off, so I hit Purge the Wicked so I can keep uptime on the boss without getting interrupted. During the second Screech, we dropped to 50%, so I used Radiance followed by Shadow Covenant and then my DPS rotation, and as you can see that was all enough to top us off. The boss does Overpowering Gust, so I sidestep it and cast Power Ward Shield and Solace so I can keep casting as I move. Before the fight started, I asked the group how many stacks of Sonic Vulnerability we were going to take, and everyone decided 3, so right here you see me using Rapture. When the Screech goes off, I use Radiance, and since Shadow Covenant is on CD, I use Vampiric Embrace and use my Shadow spell Schism and Mind Blast, and that's enough to top everyone off. The boss then gets stunned, so everyone should be using their CDs. Our hero and my PI are on cooldown, but I have Mindbender coming up, so the best I can do for damage is Mindbender, and use Shadow Covenant when it comes off CD to boost Mindbender's damage. Now that our stacks are cleared, we just rinse and repeat with the exception of us having to now dodge the fire circles. Here we have no stacks of Sonic Vulnerability, so we barely take any damage and I can just heal it up with a Radiance cast. So here I have no Shadow Covenant, but I can still apply Schism and do my Mind Blast just to help out with damage until we get to the next Screech. As I'm dodging circles, I'm refreshing Purge the Wicked just to keep casting on the move. You can also use Divine Star, you can use Solace, Power Ward Shield. The next Screech is about to come out, so I use Fade for the damage reduction. And I knew we were going to drop to about 50% health again, so I made sure to save my Shadow Covenant and my Shadow DPS spells to top everyone off. The tank gets a little too low for my comfort, so I give him Pain Suppression to help with mitigation. Here I use Power Infusion before Gale Force goes out because of the diminishing return you would get later by picking up the blue motes that give you 45% increased haste. You don't want to stack those two. Quaking is about to go off as I'm casting Penance, so I renew myself to clip the cast. Tank gets a little low, so I spot heal him. Throw out Renews just to apply Atonement. So now we have Gale Force activated. I rapture everyone. I'm trying to be proactive because a lot of people tend to get hit by the fireballs or the cyclones, and I see that the boss is very close to execute phase, so I won't need rapture for the third stack of sonic vulnerability because Shadow Word Death hits so hard that it can be easy to top off the entire group. I usually leave the blue motes for the DPS, but I don't see anyone grabbing them, so I'll go for one, and then I accidentally pick up a second one trying to dodge the overpowering gust. Another screech goes off, and you can see how efficient this is at healing 5-mans. And this is what I was talking about before. Our druid is too far, so my radiance didn't hit him, and I had to throw a flash shield to apply atonement. So now the boss is up almost 10%, which is around where you want to be when the third screech is about to go off. If you get to a fourth one, that's when you need to make sure everyone is at full health before the cast goes off, and maybe throw both of your pain suppressions out. Then use your fade and desperate prayer for yourself, or you can also use barrier. The boss is almost dead, so I throw both of my power word deaths out. And that's pretty much the whole encounter. If the video was helpful for you, please remember to like and subscribe to see the rest of the upcoming boss guides. Thank you for watching.